Very good evening. Welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I am Aishwarya Kapoor with you. The monsoon session of Parliament will begin on 14th of September under the shadow of the coronavirus pandemic and will be held with strict observance of safety norms. That's our big focus this evening. Also, all the updates on Pranab Mukherjee's last journey as he was cremated with full state honours, and news on COVID-19 pandemic and much more coming up ahead. Former President Pranab Mukherjee was cremated with full state honours at the Lodi Road Electric Crematorium on Tuesday. His son Abhijit Mukherjee performed his last rites. Mukherjee's family and relatives paid their last respects while conforming to COVID-19 safeguards. An army contingent gave a guard of honor and a gun salute to the former president. "84-year-old Mukherjee breathed his last on Monday evening at the Army's Research and Referral Hospital in Delhi, following a 21-day battle with multiple ailments. He was admitted to the hospital on 10th of August. The centre has declared 7-day state mourning following the demise of the former president. The President, the Vice President, the Prime Minister, the Chiefs of 3 defence services and politicians cutting across party lines paid their last respects to former President Pranab Mukherjee at his residence on Tuesday. Mukherjee, a statesman, a scholar and one of India's most respected leaders across the political spectrum, died on Monday following a 21-day battle with multiple ailments. As the nation observed a 7-day mourning in honor of its Bharat Ratna Pranab Mukherjee, President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the nation in paying homage to the departed statesman. The mortal remains of India's 13th president, who died on Monday, were taken to his residence from the Army Hospital in a flower-bedecked white vehicle. President Ramnath Kovind visited Mukherjee's residence and paid his last respects. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also paid floral tribute to Pranab Mukherjee at his residence. As he paid his respects to the departed leader, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the former president would be remembered by generations for his efforts towards India's progress. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat, Army Chief General M.M. Narvane, Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Baduria and Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh visited the late president's home to condole his death. BJP President J.P. Nadda, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat and several union ministers, including Nirmala Sitharaman and Dr. Harshvardhan, were among those who paid homage to him. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, former Congress Chief Rahul Gandhi, Congress's Ghulam Nabi Azad, CPI's D. Rajya and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal also arrived at the former president's residence to pay their last respects. The Union Cabinet also condoled the demise of Pranab Mukherjee. The Cabinet observed silence for 2 minutes in memory of the former president. A cabinet resolution said in his passing away, the country has lost a distinguished leader and an outstanding parliamentarian. In a Twitter message, Home Minister Amit Shah said it is a sad day for all of us that Pranab Da isn't there with us anymore. Those who want to come in politics and learn how to work without any controversy should observe his political life and follow him.
कई दशकों तक भारतीय राजनीति की क्षितिज में प्रणव की तरह ही कांतिवान रहकर प्रणव दा काम करते रहे। प्रणव दा ने एक लंबे समय तक भारतीय राजनीति को कंट्रीब्यूट किया, समृद्ध किया, एक अच्छा दिशा दर्शन किया। ये राजनीति में आने वाले हर युवा के लिए प्रेरणादायी रहेगा।
National flags at Rashtrapati Bhavan and Parliament were at half-mast on Tuesday as the country observes a 7-day state mourning. following the demise of the former president. The government announced 7-day state mourning from 31st of August to 6th of September.
प्रणब जी को मैंने बहुत नज़दीक से देखा है, तकरीबन 45 बरसों से, जब से हम यूथ कांग्रेस में थे और वो पेरेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में थे। वो एक बहुत बड़ी विद्वान थे और मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि कांग्रेस पार्टी में वकीलों को छोड़कर, क्योंकि वकीलों का काम ही है संविधान को समझना, जानना और उसको कोट करना, लेकिन नॉन वकील चाहे कितने बड़े से बड़ा पॉलिटिशियन क्यों न रहा हो किसी भी पार्टी का, उसको संविधान के बारे में इतनी जानकारी नहीं थी जितनी प्रणब दा को थी।
ये बड़ा दुख की बात है। ये एक बहुत बड़ा अभाव रहेगा देश की राजनीति में। पिछले 5 दशकों से वो एक राजनीतिक हस्ती थे जो देश की राजनीति को ही चलाने में उनका बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहा।
देश में दल से ऊपर उठकर देश की सेवा की थी, उसको कभी भुलाया नहीं जा सकता। हम सब के लिए दुख की घड़ी है। वो भारत रत्न थे। व्यक्तिगत तौर पर उनको बहुत मिस करूंगा, बहुत याद आएंगे।
प्रणब मुखर्जी के साथ मेरा संबंध बहुत पुराना था। जाकर उन्होंने कभी ये नहीं देखा कि कौन सरकार में है और कौन विरोधी दल के अंदर है। और वे हमारी स्टैंडिंग कमेटी के चेयरमैन थे, जिसमें लॉटरी का बिल आया था तो उनसे विवाद भी होता था। और अब वो राष्ट्रपति बने तो जब मैं उनसे मिलने गया तो वो खुलकर बात करते थे।
And world leaders have also expressed grief over the demise of former President Pranab Mukherjee.
Prime Minister of Nepal KP Sharma Oli said Nepal has lost a great friend. He said the people of Nepal remember Pranab Mukherjee's contributions in strengthening Indo-Nepalese relations in different capacities of his public life. Oli expressed heartfelt condolences to the government and the people of India as well as the bereaved family members. Praying his condolences and respect to the former president, Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said Mukherjee was a statesman par excellence, a writer and a man loved by all. Rajapaksa said the passion with which Pranab Mukherjee served his nation is unparalleled. Bangladesh has announced national mourning on Wednesday to honor the memory of former President Pranab Mukherjee, who passed away on Monday. Expressing profound sadness, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, in her letter to Prime Minister Modi, said that Mukherjee was a true friend of Bangladesh who was highly revered and loved by its people. Calling him a highly esteemed leader of South Asia, Sheikh Hasina said that the tireless work of Bharat Ratna Pranab Mukherjee will inspire the future generations of leaders not only in India but across countries in the region. Bangladesh had conferred the honor of Bangladesh Mukti Juddho Sommanona on the former president in 2013 for his valuable contribution to Bangladesh's liberation war of 1971. Israel President Reuven Rivlin also expressed his condolences at the passing away of Pranab Mukherjee. In a tweet, the Israeli president said Pranab Mukherjee was a statesman much respected at home and abroad and a true friend of Israel who strengthened the deep ties between the two countries and peoples. Russian President Vladimir Putin also sent a message of condolence to President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
The Mizoram Assembly paid rich tributes to former President Pranab Mukherjee.
On the first day of the 3-day session, members fondly remembered Mukherjee, who passed away in New Delhi on Monday. Chief Minister Zoramthanga said his demise was a great loss for the nation. He added that the veteran parliamentarian, who left active politics after becoming president in 2012, had been a great leader throughout his life. Besides Mukherjee, the Chief Minister also made obituary references to 5 former members of the House. Opposition leader Lal Duhoma and other members also condoled the death of Mukherjee and the 5 former MLAs. A minute's silence was observed as a mark of respect to the departed souls. The 3-day session began on Tuesday with all COVID-19 safety precautions. The Assam Assembly also paid tributes to former President Pranab Mukherjee. Members called his death as an irreparable loss to the country. After the question hour, Speaker Hitendranath Goswami adjourned the House for 5 minutes when Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal, other ministers and MLAs of all parties placed flowers at the portrait of Pranab Mukherjee. After the House reassembled, the members observed a minute's silence in memory of Mukherjee.
On to the other top story that we are tracking. Parliament's monsoon session will begin from 14th of September and will continue till 1st of October. Both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha will have 18 sittings each. The session will be held under strict social distancing protocols due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Announcing the start of the monsoon session of Parliament, a Rajya Sabha Secretariat statement has said that the President has summoned Rajya Sabha to meet on Monday, 14th of September 2020 at New Delhi. Subject to the exigencies of business, the session is scheduled to conclude on Thursday, 1st of October 2020. The notification issued by the Lok Sabha Secretariat says that President Ramnath Kovind has called the lower house to meet on Monday, 14th of September at 9 a.m. All members will have to undergo a COVID-19 test to attend the monsoon session. Employees and staff of the Secretariat, including security personnel and media persons covering the Parliament proceedings, will also be tested. The government will seek to convert 11 ordinances into laws in the forthcoming session. These include the Salaries and Allowances of Ministers Amendment Ordinance 2020, the Salaries, Allowances and Pensions of Members of Parliament Amendment Ordinance 2020, the Epidemic Diseases Amendment Ordinance 2020, the Essential Commodities Amendment Ordinance 2020, the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Ordinance 2020, the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Ordinance 2020, the Homeopathy Central Council Amendment Ordinance 2020, the Indian Medicines Central Council Amendment Ordinance 2020, the Taxation and Other Laws Relaxation of Certain Provisions Ordinance 2020, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Ordinance 2020, the Banking Regulation Amendment Ordinance 2020. Bills that are high on the government's agenda include the Companies Amendment Bill, Major Port Authorities Bill, Aircraft Amendment Bill, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Bill, Indian Institutes of Information Technology Laws Amendment Bill, National Commission for Indian System of Medicine Bill, Maintenance and Welfare of Parents and Senior Citizens Amendment Bill, Persons in Destitution, Protection, Care and Rehabilitation Bill, and Manual Scavenging Amendment Bill. Seating in the chambers and galleries of both houses during the session will be the first in the history of Indian Parliament since 1952. Large display screens in the chamber of the Rajya Sabha, audio consoles in the galleries, special cables connecting the two houses for transmission of audio-visual signals, and polycarbonate sheet separating the official gallery from the chamber of the House have been installed. The budget session of Parliament was adjourned sine die on 23rd of March, 12 days ahead of the schedule due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Constitution of India mandates a maximum 6-month gap between two sessions. This is Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. And the joint entrance exam mains for admission to engineering colleges began on Tuesday amid the stringent precautions and social distancing measures in view of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Staggered entry and exit for candidates, sanitizers at the gate, distribution of masks and following of social distancing as candidates queued up were among the scenes witnessed at exam centers across the country. The exam, postponed twice in view of the COVID-19 pandemic, will be held from 1st September to the 6th. Exams are being held in two shifts, the first from 9:30 a.m. and the second shift starting at 2:30 p.m. All seats have to be thoroughly sanitized and the workstations and keyboards disinfected before the start of each exam shift and after the last shift ends. The usual process of checking the admit cards of candidates has been replaced with barcode readers, which have been made available to all examination center authorities. Increase in the number of exam centers, alternate seating arrangements, fewer candidates per room and staggered entry and exit are among the steps the National Testing Agency has taken to safely conduct the crucial exam. More than 9 lakh candidates have registered for the JEE mains exam for admission to engineering courses in IITs, NITs and centrally funded technical institutions.
A look now at the COVID-19 situation in India, where total cases are now nearing 37 lakh. India recorded nearly 70,000 new cases on Tuesday morning. 69,921 new cases of the novel coronavirus in the past 24 hours have pushed the country's tally to nearly 37 lakh. Over 7.85 lakh are active cases, while 28.39 lakh patients have recovered so far. 819 deaths were reported on Tuesday morning, taking the toll to 65,288. The recovery rate is 76.93%, while fatality rate is 1.76%. According to the government, average daily recovered cases have grown 4 times, from 15,000 in the first week of July to 61,700 in the last week of August. Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh reported the highest number of deaths and cases in the last 24 hours. India's per-day testing capacity has crossed 10 lakh, with over 10 lakh tests conducted on Monday. So far, 4.33 crore tests have been conducted, more than 1.22 crore in the last 2 weeks alone. Goa, Delhi, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu reported maximum number of tests in a day. Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra account for nearly 34% of the total testing. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry will send high-level teams to Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Odisha that are reporting a sudden surge in cases and recording high mortalities over the past few days. Of these 4 states, Uttar Pradesh has the maximum number of active cases at 54,666, followed by Odisha with over 27,000, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. In terms of mortality, 3,423 people have died due to coronavirus in Uttar Pradesh. In Odisha, 482 people lost their lives. Jharkhand has 410 COVID-related deaths, while Chhattisgarh has registered 269 deaths. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And the 6th phase of the Vande Bharat mission to repatriate Indian citizens from the Gulf and other locations worldwide began on Tuesday. Over 1,200 flights will be operated by Air India and other private carriers from different countries to Indian cities. This phase will continue till 24th of October. The government has so far repatriated over 12.6 lakh people and nearly 1,90,000 people have been flown out. Delhi's 3rd serological survey began on Tuesday, covering all 272 municipal wards to analyze the COVID-19 situation in the city at the micro level. The sample size is 17,000 people and the exercise will be carried out for 7 days, covering all 272 municipal wards of Delhi. In the 4th phase of unlock, Indian Railways is planning to introduce more special trains. The announcement for the new trains will be made in a couple of days after consultations with the states and the Home Ministry. 230 special trains are running at present, while all regular passenger trains are suspended until further notice. And already in the middle of their respective unlock schedules, countries are now taking steps to reopen schools.
On Tuesday, for the first time since March, France reopened its schools with mandatory masks for staff and students aged 11 and above. Over 12 million students returned to in-person classes across the country. Schools also reopened in Spain despite concerns about rising infections. School children aged 6 and over are required to wear face masks to class. In Britain too, schools have reopened with strict measures in place. Russia's coronavirus case tally passed 1 million on Tuesday as schools and educational institutions reopened with new safety measures. Wearing face masks is mandatory for teachers in schools. However, children are exempted from wearing masks. The World Health Organization is asking countries to ensure safe reopening of schools amid the ongoing pandemic.
WHO fully supports efforts to reopen economies and societies. We want to see children returning to school and people returning to the workplace, but we want to see it done safely. At the same time, no country can just pretend the pandemic is over. The reality is that this coronavirus spreads easily. It can be fatal to people of all ages. and most people remain susceptible. If countries are serious about opening up, they must be serious about suppressing transmission and saving lives.
The caution comes amid accelerating coronavirus cases globally that has now crossed 25.6 million, with the death toll surpassing 8.55 lakh. Of the global tally, nearly 18 lakh people have recovered. COVID-19 cases in the United States surpassed 6.2 million on Tuesday. Over 1.87 lakh people have died. Meanwhile, British firm AstraZeneca has started phase 3 trials of its potential coronavirus vaccine in the United States. US firm Moderna and Pfizer are also conducting final stage trials. In Brazil, the COVID-19 death toll surpassed 1.21 lakh on Monday, with infections nearing 4 million. Argentina has crossed 4 lakh coronavirus cases even as the government is easing lockdown measures. South Korea surpassed 20,000 COVID-19 cases after reporting 235 new cases on Monday. Japan had 434 new coronavirus cases on the day. 100 were in Tokyo. Australia continued to see a drop in new cases, reporting 82 new coronavirus cases on Tuesday. It now has nearly 26,000 COVID-19 infections and 657 fatalities. Hong Kong started mass coronavirus testing on Tuesday, with nearly 6 lakh people signing up for free testing at 141 test centers across the city.
In some other news, the Supreme Court on Tuesday granted 10 years to telecom firms to pay the adjusted gross revenue related dues to the Department of Telecommunications with certain conditions.
10% of the AGR related dues that run into about 1.6 lakh crore rupees have to be paid by 31st March 2021. Delivering the verdict on Tuesday, the Supreme Court bench, headed by Justice Arun Mishra, held that the demand made by the Department of Telecommunications and order of the top court in the matter are final. The bench asked the telecom companies to furnish an undertaking or personal guarantee within 4 weeks for payment of dues. Failure to pay the installments would incur penalty, interest and contempt of court. It added that till the last installment is paid by the telecom companies, their bank guarantees to the Department of Telecommunications will be kept alive. The top court also said that the issue of sale of spectrum by the telecom companies facing insolvency proceedings shall be decided by the National Company Law Tribunal.
86,449 crore rupees was collected as GST revenue in the month of August 2020. It is 88% of the GST revenue collected in the same month last year. Central Goods and Services Tax or CGST makes up 15,906 crore rupees of this amount, while State Goods and Services Tax or SGST is 21,064 crore rupees, while Integrated Goods and Services Tax or IGST is 42,264 crore rupees. Cess is 7,215 crore rupees. The government settled 18,216 crore rupees towards CGST and 14,650 crore rupees towards SGST from IGST as a regular settlement. Revenue earned by central government and the state governments after regular settlement in August 2020 is 34,122 crore rupees for CGST and 35,714 crore rupees for the SGST. However, it must be noted that taxpayers with a turnover of less than 5 crore rupees will have relaxation in filing of returns till September. This is Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. Interest on delayed payment of goods and services tax or the GST is being charged on net tax liability since Monday.
Net liability refers to gross tax liability minus input tax credit. The GST Council had approved a retrospective amendment on its payment, but the Finance Ministry notification came last week that Section 100 of the Finance Act 2019 will come into effect from September 1st. The government has assured that no recoveries will be made for the past period or by the Central and State Tax Administration in accordance with what was decided at the 39th meeting of the GST Council. This will ensure the taxpayers full relief as decided by the Council. The ministry clarified that the notification relating to interest on delayed payment of GST has been issued prospectively due to certain technical limitations.
And India and China held another round of military talks on Tuesday to ease escalating tension triggered by fresh confrontation between the two sides on the southern bank of Pangong Lake in eastern Ladakh. The brigade commander level talks began at 10 a.m. in Chushul on the Indian side of the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh with a specific agenda to discuss the situation around the Pangong Lake. The fresh round of military talks come after the Defence Ministry said the Chinese army had carried out provocative military movements to unilaterally change the status quo, but the attempt was thwarted by Indian troops. Army spokesperson Colonel Aman Anand said troops from the Chinese People's Liberation Army violated the consensus arrived at during the military and diplomatic engagements on the ongoing standoff in eastern Ladakh and carried out provocative military movements on the intervening night of 29th and 30th of August to change the status quo. In a statement, Colonel Anand said that the Indian army thwarted the Chinese intentions to unilaterally change facts on the ground and undertook measures to strengthen Indian position in the area. This is the second round of brigade commander level talks. A meeting was also held on Monday at Chushul to resolve the issue. The fresh attempt by China to change the status quo in the Pangong Lake area is the first major incident in the area after the Galwan Valley clashes on 15th of June, in which 20 Indian Army personnel were martyred. And the G4 countries, India, Germany, Japan and Brazil have called out countries who are dragging their feet on United Nations Security Council reforms. A letter was sent by India's Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Nagaraj Naidu, on behalf of G4 countries, to the President of the United Nations General Assembly, Tijani Muhammad Bandi. The letter said that the intergovernmental negotiations on Security Council reforms are being held hostage and used as a convenient smokescreen by countries that do not wish to see any changes in the most powerful UN organ. The letter notes that there has been practically no progress in the intergovernmental negotiations on reform of the most powerful UN organ over the last decade. It further demands tangible action to achieve the long-delayed reforms. The letter underscored India's abiding commitment to reformed multilateralism, saying that to strengthen this in the United Nations, India will continue to voice its strong support for tangible action towards an expanded and reformed Security Council that reflects today's world and realities, and that we will also take steps to see how we can realize these goals in the 75th session of the UNGA. India has been at the forefront of the years-long efforts to reform the Security Council, saying that it rightly deserves a place as a permanent member of the Council, which in its current form does not represent the geopolitical realities of the 21st century. The next meeting of the India, Australia, America and Japan Quadrilateral Coalition could take place in Delhi soon. United States Assistant Secretary of State Stephen Biegun gave this information. Addressing the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum, he said, the next meeting of the alliance of the four superpowers has become very important due to the current environment. He added that with strong democratic governance systems, the four countries have placed emphasis on peace and stability in the respective region within the framework of the strong alliance. The Quad was launched in 2007 by Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in consultation with the United States, Australia and India. It was upgraded to ministerial level last September. The Quad foreign ministers met last year on the sidelines of United Nations General Assembly meeting in the new year, which was the first such meeting of the grouping. And that's the wrap on this edition of News Tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and your families. Good night.